Hello. Quick announcement for this ed puzzle. We will be taking 3 slides of notes on this ed puzzle, and all of the notes you'll be taking will be right inside of your graphic organizer that is made available to you in class today. Today, our objectives are going to be that you're going to define cellular respiration. You're going to compare and contrast the 3 main reactions in cellular respiration. And then at a certain point, if you get there today, you'll compare and contrast cellular respiration and photosynthesis. So here's a read the picture. We're going to compare and contrast a plant cell to an animal cell. So think about this. How are a plant cell and an animal cell the same? And how are they different? So just look at that picture. And if you need a little bit more specific honing in on what you should be looking for, what processes can both plants and animal cells do? What processes can only plant cells do? Both plant and animal cells have mitochondria, so both can do cellular respiration. Plant cells have chloroplasts, though, so plant cells can do photosynthesis. So animal cells cannot do photosynthesis. Another quick read the picture. What process can fungal cells do, and how do you know? So look at this fungal cell. It has a nucleus, a cell membrane, ribosomes, a cell wall, meaning made of chitin, a mitochondria, or it has mitochondria, and cytoplasm. So what process are fungal cells able to do, and how do you know? Final, read the picture. What are the 3 stages of cellular respiration? So look at this picture and tell me, what are the 3 stages of cellular respiration? Today, you're going to take notes on the 3 stages of cellular respiration. If you look at your graphic organizer, across the top, we have the 3 stages: glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and electron transport. And on the left-hand side, we're going to compare these 3 stages across 4 criteria: location, energy, matter, and oxygen needs. So you're going to fill in this graphic organizer in our 3 slides of notes. So let's jump right in. Glycolysis is the first stage of cellular respiration. The location: glycolysis happens outside of the mitochondria in the cytoplasm of the cell. So remember me telling you that cellular respiration happens in and around the mitochondria, and that's because of glycolysis. Glycolysis happens outside of the mitochondria in the cytoplasm. The energy produced during glycolysis, only a very small amount of energy is captured from the broken bonds in glycolysis to produce a net gain of about 2 ATP molecules. Now, depending on what source you're reading, these ATP levels I'm going to give you are changing, but the thing to know is, relative to the overall process of cellular respiration, glycolysis produces a small amount of ATP. The matter transformation in glycolysis is that glucose, remember glucose is made of carbons, hydrogens, and oxygens. Glucose is broken down into 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. So glucose has 6 carbons, remember C6H12O6. Pyruvic acid only has 3 carbons each. So glucose you can sort of think about it as getting broken in half, which isn't actually accurate, but it is an easy way to think of it. And then oxygen needs. So glycolysis is what we consider anaerobic. And anaerobic is a vocabulary word, so you probably want to highlight it in here. Anaerobic, for my word nerds, is Greek for no life air. No life air. And this means we're talking about life air here, and the Greeks defined life air as oxygen. So anaerobic means that this happens with no oxygen. Glycolysis can take place with absolutely no oxygen at all. And this will be important when we get into fermentation. The second stage of cellular respiration is the Krebs cycle. And the Krebs cycle happens inside of the mitochondria. In terms of energy, the Krebs cycle has a small amount of energy captured from the broken bonds to produce 2 ATP molecules. In the matter transfer in the Krebs cycle, that pyruvic acid that was created in glycolysis is broken down into carbon dioxide and these little H plus ions. These little H plus ions that are used in NADPH. You don't necessarily have to know that deep until you go into AP bio, but know that in the matter transformation, pyruvic acid is broken down into carbon dioxide and hydrogen ions, or H plus. Finally, the Krebs cycle is aerobic, and this is Greek for life air, and that means it needs oxygen to move forward. So the Krebs cycle is aerobic. It needs to happen in the presence of oxygen. Finally, we have electron transport. This is the last stage of cellular respiration. And electron transport happens inside the mitochondria. Specifically, electron transport passes back and forth across this mitochondrial matrix. In electron transport, a large amount of energy is captured from a series of complex steps involving electrons. And it produces about 32 ATP molecules. Again, some books will go as high as 36. Some books will go as low as 28. The thing you need to take home is electron transport produces the largest amount of energy out of the 3 stages of cellular respiration. And in electron transport, oxygen molecules and these hydrogen ions that were made in the Krebs cycle, they combine to form water molecules. So we got these oxygen molecules, they meet up with these hydrogen molecules, or these oxygen molecules, they meet up with these hydrogen atoms, and you get H2O, you get water molecules. Now, in terms of oxygen needs, electron transport is aerobic, so it happens in the presence of oxygen. So hopefully now you guys have your graphic organizer filled out. Go ahead and glue that sucker right into your science notebook, and you will be able to use it moving forward. And we're going to do a quick check for understanding. Which stage of cellular respiration is anaerobic? Which stage of cellular respiration yields or makes the most ATP? Which stage of cellular respiration yields carbon dioxide as a byproduct? And that should be in parentheses. Which stage of cellular respiration yields carbon dioxide as a byproduct? Which stage of cellular respiration has CO2 as a byproduct, or sorry, H2O as a byproduct? Which stage of cellular respiration has H2O as a byproduct? And which stage of cellular respiration breaks down glucose as part of its process? Which stage of cellular respiration breaks down glucose? And that's it for the day. Thank you guys for taking these notes.